Public Arts Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, November 12th. Can we go ahead and start with roll call?
Commissioner Prudhomme,
Here.
Commissioner Newmeyer,
Here.
Commissioner Armenta, Vice Chairperson Sanchez, Chairperson Cruz Sendejas,
Here.
and for the record, Commissioners Armenta and Vice Chairperson Sanchez are absent today.
Thank you. Can I get a volunteer for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. Let's see, item 3, do we have any public comment for items not on the agenda today?
There are none.
Okay. Item 4, 4.1 of the minutes, to review and approve minutes of the Public Arts Commission meeting of September 10th.
Was everyone here at the September 10 meeting?
Yes,
Yes.
everyone
Okay.
is here.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Prudhomme,
I'll second it.
Commissioner Newmeyer,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson, Chairperson Cruz Sendejas,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, item 5, presentation by local artists and/or art organizations. There are none.
There's none.
Okay. Item 6, action items. 6.1, request for proposal for Indio Center Stage mural project.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Arts Commission. This project before you is the Center Stage Mural project, which was approved as part of the work plan for fiscal year 24-25 for a budget of $50,000. The image here is just a mock-up. We did use one of our existing mural as a mock-up. Here it shows that the fence that on this picture goes behind the building, it won't be there, and that's actually the reality. After the when we do the mural, the fence, or during the time that we are doing the mural, the fence will be removed, so it will be connected from north side to the building and to the south. So the entire building will be out. So it's a restroom building, 2 restrooms, one for females, one for males, and then the plan is to put a mural on the entire building, of course the walls. This is a more close-up. As I said, the fences won't be behind the building. It will go to the building will be visible, and then we'll get out of the building. So as I said, the budget is $50,000. The theme is open. There is no color scheme per se for this project. And also the entire RFP is attached to the staff report as attachment A. The date to circulate is in 2 days, so it will be November 14. With that, a staff requesting the commission to review and accept the RFP for the total amount of $50,000, which was approved by the City Council for the circulation. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
That'll be part of discussion. John asked if 50,000 seemed too much. That seems to be the going rate for something about that size.
Yeah, and then as I said, it came before the Arts Commission as part of the work plan, so the Arts Commission technically approved it, sent it to the City Council, and City Council approved it as such. If you would like, we basically say up to 50,000. So if an artist comes and say, I can get it done with a less budget, but please remember, it's a large building. It has almost all 4 walls of both buildings, including the front.
Okay.
But if the commission would like, as I said, we can emphasize on up to 50,000, which I believe in the RFP says up to 50,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would think that 50 is a fair amount. That's about how much
Yeah.
we'd max out on a 150-foot long building, so.
Okay.
I didn't have any question. I think
No,
we're
I don't
fine.
have
No, I'm good.
I'm good. That was my only one.
Okay. Do we have to request a motion for this, or, yeah? Okay. Does anybody want a motion?
I'll motioned.
I'll second.
Commissioner Prudhomme,
Yes.
Commissioner Newmeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Cruz Sendejas,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you very much. And then, sorry, the next item on the agenda is the staff items. I just wanted to provide you with an update on the Arts Center. We have started demo inside and the staff is doing it, so about 70% of the demo has been completed. It was a lot of trash there, left over from previous from the artists and previous administrator of the art center. So those has been removed. That was a big task to remove everything, which the staff did. The city staff has done that. And as I said, the demolition of the walls has been started, and we are almost 70% complete. Just today, we also installed an alarm system. So because we had some couple of breakdowns into the breakdowns into the building. So that's installed, and we are waiting to receive the plans, get it approved by the building and fire and Valley Sanitary, and then go for bids. We need to have at least 2 bids. So that's the entire update. Any question regarding that? All right.
No, sounds good.
Then the next item is commission item, which the staff's supposed to receive directions from the commission regarding the rating sheets for sculptural selection and mural selection. This is what currently we have. So it was maximum 100 points. If somebody was a resident of India, automatically would get 5 additional points, and it was kind of like simple and mostly focused on the art and the scale and basically how it will interact with the environment if the scale is appropriate. I have received 4 pages of document from Commissioner Newmeyer, which has been distributed to you for tonight's discussion. Again, that's from Commissioner Newmeyer. So if on any other commissioners they have comment or they would like to provide any direction, that's the time to do it. I'm going to ask the IT to put the PDF on the screen so you guys can also see the PDF.
It'd be helpful to be able to go back to that other image at some point, but it's not necessary.
Can we zoom into like half a page, Gerald?
We can see them here.
Oh, you can see
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not a
okay,
problem. Plus, we
perfect.
have a
No,
paper
you know
copy.
what? We are
Yeah.
good. We are good. I'm
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
I can see it from here.
I would say if somebody at home watching online or something might have issue being able to see it, maximize their screen. Are we live streaming on the city website right now?
Yeah, they should be able to
Okay.
see it as well.
I know it runs on Facebook and everything,
Yeah,
so.
they should be able to see it. I'm just far and I'm half blind. All right, so the stage is yours,
Okay. I don't know if you saw briefly the two other score sheets for murals and for sculpture that were up there. They have different questions, they have different criteria, and there were some items that I think that we needed to add that were a little more specific to what we're looking for. We talked about, referencing our RFPs a little better, referencing our, plan and our guidelines, and whatever visioning statements we might have had for each potential project or just the public arts program in general. One of the things that I always harp on is materials, so I wanted to put that in there. And then I wanted to kind of break out some of the buzzwords, some of the art terms that may seem vague or, in my opinion, probably didn't really apply. Like there was words like methodology and different words like that. And you can kind of argue one way or the other if it's vision or concept, or if it's methodology or context or content and all this. There's lots of terms that you can use to talk yourself in circles as to something. So what I had kind of thought to do was to break out some areas based on what we go through, what we see here. And the first sheet is entirely on the work itself that's pitched to the Art Commission, and some of them are weighted in 5 points, some of them are weighted in 3 point. And I think if you guys disagree, or if you have anything you want to say, bring up. But it was more like the points that I would think that we would want to be able to have a little more of a scale and to weight a little more based on the proposed work.
Yeah.
So like I say, vision or unique perspective, that's the actual artist's intent, that's the artist's, style of work and everything. Is it interesting, compelling, striking, or memorable? That's going to go down to, does the design do anything for us? Meets the goals stated in the criteria in the RFP and the public art guidelines. Sometimes we get a really awesome presentation, but it's not what we were looking for.
Right.
Right.
Vice versa, someone could have, I just want to make sure that we're referencing that so that we're there. Fits the social activity of the site. The word from the original was vitality, and that has to do, vitality, that's one of those words. That's why I broke it into the, more of a definition. Does it work with the space? Like, is it a place that gets a lot of foot traffic? Is it a place that is just driven by? Is it a place that, you'd want to go and contemplate the piece? Or is it, in a median where you're not going to go walk out and look at it? So does it fit the use of the site? And then less points, but still important, does it have a theme, or did it meet a theme? Is it aware of social, environmental, historical, and or relevant context? That comes from the original, but that's more like, this is where you can say, this is an appropriate piece, or this is a piece that wasn't very well researched, why are you dropping that here, kind of thing. Is appropriate for the scale of the site. We've had some pretty stellar presentations, and the scale, when you do find out about it, it's kind of like watching Spinal Tap. And the Stonehenge comes out, and that's as big as it is. Is the scale appropriate for the site? Has potential to enrich the city's existing collection that comes from the original. So out of all of these sheets, you'll find that it comes up to 100 points. And so this first part on the proposed work is about a third. It's 32 points potential. So that's a pretty strong weight for just the proposed piece itself. The next thing that I wanted to go over was the actual presentation by the artist. It's one thing to fill out an application and submit something digitally, but I think it needs to be able to convey what exactly they're trying to do, because one of the things we do here at the Art Commission is it's our job to recommend this as consultants to council,
Right.
and then for council to approve. And so we would love to have a presentation where we could say, yep, this makes sense, let's give this to council, they'll get to see
Right.
the same thing, and it's a great thing. So not to knock anyone, but we're in the 21st century, we have digital, we have all kinds of things at our, when someone shows up with a science fair poster board, that doesn't really translate into the visual medium as what we're trying to do. So that's kind of why I've talked about this sort of thing. Clearly focuses on a proposed concept, and this is more when we talk about how many entries we get per RFP response. So yes, they have a clear vision, they have a clear concept, it's presented in the presentation, or they do, but they've offered some variations on style and theme. That's not really a knock. Or they've given us 6 different potential ones. They didn't put their strongest one forward, or they felt that any one of them was fine, like order of probability,
Right.
or not at all. Addresses the site conditions and orientation and shows placement and scale in the site. That has to do more with when we're talking the presentation, is to show it in the space, give us a rendering, give us a view, give us some sort of context as far as this is what it ties to the site, this is what it would look like from the side, that's what those points are all about. My big thing about materials, are they clearly identified in the proposal? Are they generally, are they somewhat, but they might need some help, or they might just need some clarification, some question. They are, but they don't seem to work together. We've had artists say that they're going to mix spray paint medium with other traditional paint, and one is an oil-based, one is a water-based. We were just talking about oil and water earlier.
Yeah.
So just whether or not we know that the materials are actually, present in the presentation, and are they appropriate for public space? Safety, security, damage, vandalism. We have a really great looking temporary sculpture made out of cardboard. Is that necessarily safe? Is that free from damage? If it's temporary, maybe it's fine. So suitable for the desert environment, and that's more specific to us here with the heat and the sunlight, the UV. We're running into issues with plywood. We're running into issues with types of paint. We've had people apply with metal where we talk about the heat. We've had talk about clear acrylic, whether or not it will withstand, direct sunlight on a 122-degree day. I wanted to put some teeth to an artist's experience in their CV. Do they have experience on projects of this scale? This isn't to knock anyone that hasn't, but it's not the first time someone's done a large piece. They might need a little extra work. Demonstrated familiarity with the materials proposed, and this is someone who's switching medium or hasn't had experience in murals, worldly works, and sculpture, or vice versa. Artists demonstrated strong craftsmanship in previous work, and this is when it's going to come down to sample work, sample presentations. Do they have the chops? Can they actually paint or create what they have proposed? We've had artists take JPEGs and arrange them in collage fashion and then say, yes, I can paint that. And then you see their work and it's different, and whether or not that is what you're looking at as far as presentation. And then of course we give the, is the artist from here, local or international. That's kind of the extra credit, because without that everything adds to 95, and this gets you the A+. Budget, I think that's something that we should be asking about. Is it a complete budget? Is it spelled out line item as far as the items required in the RFP? Is it somewhat there, but maybe they forgot to list a couple things? The biggie is, do they talk about whether or not there's prevailing wage requirements or surface prep if that's required? Lump sum, I don't know if we're allowed to present with a lump sum budget. Proposed amount is at or below. We like that. Reasonably over budget with an explanation. We're talking 10-20%. Unreasonably above or below. I've encountered people who've said that, yes, we can do it at half the budget, and guess what? It didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then kind of like an open-ended process and practicality. And these are, again, things that I wanted to put in. You guys can put your 2 cents. Has the artist visited the site? Because that usually, I work in a field where we're always required to do site visits, and you have to sign in and you have to sign out. And it speaks to whether or not you're serious about it, whether you're able to get to the place. So again, I don't know if that's something we want to knock someone for. It's only a couple points.
But still, you really need to see the site before you're gonna do any
Yeah.
kind of
I think it
work.
should be suggested if they're, like, when they're in that process of wanting to even apply,
Mhm.
you know, just like, not required, but a suggestion,
Yeah.
strong suggestion.
Like I said, I only gave it 2 out of 100
Yeah,
points. Was
that's
yes,
fine.
they've been, or
Yeah.
they've sent someone. That's
Right.
always good too. And
Right.
there's always digitally, like I do job walks on Google Maps because I
Yeah.
can't get out to San Diego or
Right.
whatever. But I got to look to see if there's power lines above, that sort of
Right.
thing. Whether required by the RFP, so that doesn't mean that it was, but it could be. The artist has detailed some sort of engagement strategy with stakeholders, community members. Do they plan to have a workshop? Do they plan to have meetings? Do they plan to do an online survey to ask about a design, or do you want to work, do you like this? I don't know. I think that's something to include. As far as practicality, the likelihood the work is to be completed as proposed. It's one thing to promise that you can get something done, but on us and our expertise and our experiences is to take a look at existing work and look at proposal and look at materials and look at everything to say, is this something that can be built? The timeline, does it meet the schedule? That should be something we discuss. We've got artists that say, yeah, I can knock it out in 3 months, but I can't start for a year. Does that work with our schedule?
Right.
And is a maintenance plan detailed in the proposal?
Yeah.
And is it to the level of detail that we want to see? As far as annual or these types of materials, that sort of thing. So, I don't know if you guys got any points. And it would be used for art and for mural and for sculpture or anything, I think. I guess I took a lot of what was already there and kind of flushed out a few things.
I looked at it earlier and think you did a great job on this.
Yeah.
It really hits everything that, every point that we need to be aware of.
Yeah,
It's great job.
I agree. Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Now, I will say I gamed it out. Somebody with a very strong presentation and concept, but poor materials choice and execution could end up in the high 60s out of 100. Somebody with 1 point knocked down underneath everything could end up in the high 60s to 70s. That's one of my concerns was gaming it out. I don't know that we would get to the proposal date and see something like that, but
Yeah.
but it's kind of like letter grade. Anything less than a 60, we would probably not
Not
consider
consider
here.
it,
Anything over like a 70 is a serious contender,
Right.
and whether or not it gets beyond that point.
Right. Okay.
Okay? I like it.
That's my question. So when a project comes before you and we would like to discuss it at the commission meeting for selection and sending over, so for each artist, each commission member fill up one of these with the name of the artist and the name of themselves for the date and project and give it to staff, correct? That's how
Yeah.
it's gonna,
I would ultimately like to see if this is something that can be done in like a web application,
I'm sorry?
like a web application,
What do you mean by web application? This will be online?
like something that we can just click a button. You can score, and then you can save it, and it can be reported.
We don't have access to create a Google form because Google is not compatible with our system. But it is, I'll talk to our IT, but easier for staff, and I'm assuming for you guys, so if you are in somewhere that you can't access or then it will needs to be 5 portals, and for each it needs to be 1 person. So every project it needs to be updated. So that's difficult for the IT. So my thought is just everybody comes with this, do the homework at home, come here, and then you guys still can change it here when you hear the presentation and stuff.
Yeah,
I like that a
But
lot.
then-
Yeah.
I think we should be doing that anyway.
Yeah, then staff can collect it.
So would you
That
talk-
was the only question that I have as far how would you like to implement it?
So when you talk about doing the homework at home, we'd be sent what the project's gonna look like and review it before we see the artist? Is that what you mean?
At least you can check for example, the resume,
Yes,
you know.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
things
perfect.
that you can check,
I
or you
like
can
that.
see
Yeah.
how it looks with, you know, how the scale works, you know,
No, I
at
like
home.
that. I like
And
that.
then there's some stuff that presentation and things like that, which you would like to see it here. And again, as I said, material, you may have questions, you may not complete it, come ask the artist
That's
here
fine.
and complete it.
Yep,
But kind of like, at least, you know, some part of it be, bulk of the homework
Yeah.
may be done
I
prior
think
to
I
the
think you
meeting.
could. You might just hold off on things you have questions that aren't
Right.
in the original, and then of
Yeah,
course the
exactly.
presentation.
Exactly.
You'd probably wait until you actually get to see or hear from the artist.
Exactly, and
yeah.
as I say, any question, for example, even if regarding the, I don't know, the scale, if there's a question and when you see the plan, you can't get it, you can always ask the question here.
I like it.
Okay, cool.
And we once had a proposal for a sculpture, and the scale made it appear to be 21 to 28 feet tall. And when we heard from the artist, he said, "Oh no, it was 8." I said, well, it's drawn out of scale. It was superimposed from trees. It was quite large, and so that's one of those things that I think needs to be, discussed. But
All right, so let me ask another question for implementation. So I would like to also add that to the RFP, so when they are reviewing the RFP, they know what, so if commission is like, okay with that, to add this as RFP as how your work will get reviewed?
that's fine.
Okay,
I don't know if anybody, wants to sit with it and move point values or change anything or add anything or.
I think, like I said, I looked over it, I think it's great the way it is. It's very detailed enough, I mean,
It's broken down.
It's broken down.
More simple.
yeah, no, I like it the way it is.
Okay.
okay, sounds great.
Okay,
Yeah, any comments or any suggestions from the other commissioners?
I don't have any comments.
Okay, great. So I will just probably add a logo and just call it a sculpture rating sheet for this specific RFP, which we,
Do you want
I'm
me
sorry,
to?
mural.
Do you want me to? It's for
It's
for
for
the
both,
mural.
no?
Yeah,
No, for the
I've designed it for mural and for sculpture.
Right,
It's
I
both, yeah.
understood that, but I'm just saying, I'm just gonna put the logo and say this is the Arts
Okay.
Commission for mural for this project. I use the same way, and I will say was last updated today, so we
Okay.
know when it was
Oh.
updated, and
You
just add it.
Do you want me to send you the Word doc?
Sure.
Okay.
that's good.
You know what? I can also convert PDF.
Okay.
Don't worry.
All right.
Yeah, I'll convert the PDF. Perfect. Thank you. That's great.
All right, awesome. So that's it. Any other commissioner comments?
No, I'm good.
We're good? All right, meeting adjourned. 5:59.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.